Yo, you just reminded me back what was going on with all the rioting and shit, and then out of the blue somebody fucking like dropped off a pallet of bricks in multiple areas in the city of Poughkeepsie. Like, yo, get this shit jumping, y'all. Like,
Yeah.
dead ass, that
Word.
shit is a thing.
Wait, what are you talking
Cause
about?
Remember
when you
when
said
the
somebody
shit
took
was
the gate
wildin'?
off, like, yo, go jump, and when motherfuckers was riding and everything like that,
Right.
there's somebody riding. This was like earlier in this year or last year or something like that, and they was dropping off like you just out of nowhere. You just see a stack of bricks in the city, like on the corner. Like I'm like, yo,
Oh
what?
yeah.
They're like, yo, get it
Niggas was
jumping.
really rioting. Niggas.
But it was
this
just
right,
there, like,
yeah,
go,
bro.
yeah, go at it. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I'm like, but you gotta wonder who put that there, man. Like,
That's funny.
Somebody
I
that
ain't
wanted
put it
something
there.
to
You
happen.
ain't put it there. Exactly.
That's
And
Uncle
there's
Ruckus
cameras
says.
all up and down this city, man. You can't. People
yeah,
is
bro.
so stupid. There's cameras on like every corner inside the store. There's cameras in the store that's pointed outside at your ass.
Yeah, bro.
There's
Word.
cameras on top of like
Big brother
buildings.
always watching.
That's a
Damn,
fact.
bro.
Yeah. Always
all the
watching.
red lights that I blasted through, all the rolling stops I've done.
They probably
seen
know.
it. They just don't give a fuck.
They probably
Good.
know.
I mean, hey, you know, we all do it. I know coppers do it. You flash your lights, whatever you want to
Cops
beast
is
out.
the worst. I had a cop pull me over and tell me he could drive as fast as he want. He was driving in front of me. It's on,
Wait, what?
It's on Instagram. I'm gonna show you later. He was driving in front of me, and I was driving behind him. He said I was speeding. He tried to stop and pull me over.
He said, "Now you was speeding, my nigga."
I said, I thought you was setting the pace for the flow of traffic. He said, no, I could drive as fast as I want. But he said you were speeding.
I would be like, "Nigga, what? You better stop playing with me."
I was like, oh, you can drive as fast as you want. I said, sure you can.
Oh my God.
Man, stop playing with me.
So let's talk about it though, bro. You know, Juneteenth just became a holiday, right?
I'm not excited.
We
It
got.
shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. All they throw us is a freaking holiday
that's what
instead
they
of
do.
actual
Hold on.
change.
Wait.
Instead of actual
Wait.
change.
Let me finish. Juneteenth's a holiday, because let's get everything out the
Facts,
way so that we can
facts.
stack. Let me get everything out the way. Juneteenth's a holiday.
Facts.
I know we got this George Floyd shit. I don't think I know how you feel about all this shit, in all honesty. And the fact, let's also say this for the audience. You don't like nigga.
I don't like the word.
You don't like none of that shit.
I don't
Ma,
get me
pay
wrong. I
attention.
used to say it a lot when I was younger.
Yeah.
When I still thought.
So all this shit going on. How you feel about it, boss man? Start with nigga first. Get that
well,
shit out the way.
With the word nigga, I feel like it's one in the same. You could take the E and the R off and throw an A on if you want. I always tell people this. I say, okay, nigga. I say, you understand that that's one of the most offensive things that you could call a black or so-called African American or colored person or person of color, whatever you want to identify yourself. But we are not any of those things in our actuality. So we should only identify ourselves by things that uplift us. So none of those terms uplift us at all. But I say, okay, so that's a nigga is like one of the most offensive things you call a black person. Say, okay, we got that locked in. That's a fact. So what's one of the most offensive things you could call a man in general, whether they black, white, green, yellow? Probably faggot or something like that, right? So I said, okay, so now we took the word nigga and took the E and the R off and put an A, and now it's good. So why don't we now, because since it makes sense to take something that's really offensive and apply it to yourself, why don't we take the word faggot and take the O and the T off, F-A-G-G-O-T, and just put F-A-G-G-Y? What up, faggy? What up? You good? It's like, you don't want me to call you a faggot, but I could call you a nigga. So each word is meant to be it's not really, but a faggot is a bundle of sticks, is the definition, right?
A cigarette.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But
if
now
we
we
in Europe.
apply it to homosexuals, a faggot. So if you call a straight man a faggot, he takes offense. But if you call if a white person calls a black person a nigga, they take offense. But if a black person calls a black person a nigga, it means I love you. It means you my bro. But if you my bro, I could just call you bro.
Message.
If I thought that you was a black God, I could say peace, God. I don't gotta say it backwards. I don't say like people say, yo, I call you dog because it's God spelled backwards. We used to say dog because DMX said, yo, dog. So we say, it's good, dog. Like, and that's what it was. You know? But some people say dog is God spelled backwards. Like, since when do we live? Do we need to make sense, try to make sense out of something by saying, like, for example, my cousin, my little man, he was 20, he's dead. He got murdered in the Bronx.
Damn.
He was 22 when he got murdered. His name is Christopher Graham. But he came in, I was at my grandmother's house, at her apartment down in Manhattan by Lincoln Center. And he came in with his pants sagging. I'm like, yo, man, put your pants up, man. You got your sag. Oh, man, because it's niggas spelled backwards. Sagging.
I was trying to remember how the meme
And I'm
that I
like,
saw
and
that
that makes it make more sense. Like, you're sagging your pants
remember
because you're
seeing
a
I
that.
didn't
nigga.
even know about that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't
You
even
saw
know
the
that.
meme though that said that.
That's a
shit, bro.
fact. Nah, I
yeah,
did.
yeah,
That's
bro.
a-
When I
Nah,
saw
yeah,
that, I
you're
was
right.
like, I was
Yep,
thinking, I was like,
That just
that's
makes
right,
it even more
bro.
ignorant.
Sagging
Like,
this
you're
nigga.
sagging your pants because you're a
Yeah.
nigga.
Yeah.
So then I had somebody, I'm in the military. I've been in over 15 years. And I was sitting down, I just helped somebody resolve an issue with their pay. And this is another soldier. He's a Marine or a so-called Marine. And I'm in the Army, National Guard.
Yeah.
And I give him assistance. And when we're done, he says, yo, good looks, my nigga. I'm like,
Damn.
mind you, I don't know this
Damn.
guy. I don't really
That
know him
fucked
like
me up
that.
if I
And
was in the
I
military.
outrank him. I could have written him up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it shows you the mentality. First of all, we didn't come here for none of this nigga, nothing. I outrank you. I'm not your homeboy. I'm not here for that.
Yeah,
I
word.
can discipline you when I feel it's necessary.
Word.
But so he says, good looks, my nigga. I'm like, I said, do me a favor, make sure you never call me that again. And I said, let me ask you a question. I said, what does the president do? He said, what? Like, it's not a trick question. Like, what does the president do? I said, how about this? I said, what does the king do? He said, oh, well, take care of the kingdom, try to, tax, get tax from the people, whatever. I said, well, you get the general idea. Okay, what does a mayor do? Okay, different things with the city, try to, some regulations and policies, whatever you got to do. Oh, you get the idea. I said, what does a nigga do? He said, oh, I get it.
Message.
You said that on IG. You said that on
Message.
IG. I saw that shit. I was like,
what
damn.
does a nigga do though?
You're not wrong.
Tell me the characteristics of a nigga and why it makes perfect sense. Because if we're making sense, tell me why it makes. What is the characteristics of a nigga? What does a nigga do, and why is it so important to be one? Out of all the things that you could be. So I'm a man, I'm a brother, I'm a father, I'm a soldier, I'm a teacher, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a photographer, videographer, I can rap, sing, produce, all these things.
But what does a nigga do?
What does a nigga do that's so special that you need to be one? I can say people, I want to be a police officer, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a nigga. And I love it. Right? I want to be a nigga. I want to sag my pants.
Nah, bro. But there on some real
And
shit,
listen
there is
to a
people
lot of
Garbage.
on some real shit.
violent music that talks about drug use and alcohol abuse and disrespecting the most underprotected being on the planet, which is a black woman. Animals get more protection than the fucking black woman does. They got reservation. No, not a reservation, but
Message.
They get reservations, reservoirs, like
whatever.
yeah,
Animal rights, this right, that right.
Instead of an animal if an animal could get more rights than a black woman, it's a problem. Simple as that.
Hold on,
That's a problem. That's
But
a
we're
real
okay
problem.
with it.
That's crazy.
In defense of the fucking animals, we ain't going like. I mean, a fucking panda. What's a panda gonna do against a bulldozer, bro? Like,
No, I'm totally
you know what
with
I'm
it.
saying? You know
I'm
what I'm
totally
saying?
with
In
it.
defense of the animals in that respect, bro. Like the fucking rhinos going extinct.
I totally
You-
get
you
it.
know what I'm
Music is
saying?
music
That's part
is
of
a
the reason
powerful
why I was
thing, though.
going vegan. Give them a fucking break. You ain't gotta
Yeah.
wipe the animals off. That's why I said like, and you know what? When they came up with Black Lives Matter, I said I was in Guantanamo Bay at the time. This was like 2016.
You were serving?
Cape and Nick. Yeah, I was in
Stationed
on the
out?
deployment. So I'm in Guantanamo Bay in Cuba, on the naval base, and
Thank you for your
Black
service.
Lives Matter. I always tell people I don't serve shit. It ain't McDonald's.
I heard that.
What I'm saying is I'm not in uniform.
I heard that.
I'm not in uniform.
Heard that, boss.
But that's not to be disrespectful.
Yeah, no. You doing this?
Because I believe in
I respect it, bro.
in providing service, being of service to
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
I don't believe in being of service
He said, I don't
the way
serve shit. I'm
other
not a
people believe
McDonald's.
it. As far as man, you protect the flag. I don't protect shit that don't care about me.
And that's facts.
You know what I'm saying?
So you there for your family?
Any
people.
system
And that's what I'm saying. Word.
in this country that is trying to help people, I could be a part of that. The military does, it provides training. I get it. I'm a part of that. But I don't want to get too deep into it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get too political or controversial, none of that stuff.
Oh
Because
man.
I am proud to serve in the military, but there's certain aspects of all things that I have to observe and make my own assessment and say, I think I'd rather do things in a different way. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but so Black Lives Matter, right? So
Word.
back with the animals, right? Protection
Nigga
and
and
so
black
there was
women.
Black Lives Matter, and then it was he took a knee, and then all these white folks was calling him all types of shit, saying he could leave the country is disrespect. He could feel how the fuck he want, cause he's a human being. When they murdered whoever in oh damn, I can't remember his name. But they was talking
Martin.
about the weapons of mass destruction and all this shit.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
all bullshit made
Osama?
up. Bin Laden, they ain't find no fucking bombs. It's like they ain't find none of that shit. But when he was killed, everybody was all happy. He had a family too with
Wasn't
children.
he working? Wasn't he working for us at one point?
Supposedly, but I don't want to get into none of that too much right
man.
now.
Oh, man.
You know, they got
you
you
know,
for a different
you
podcast.
know shit right now.
Well,
Yo,
I don't
bro.
have no super kind of intel on that
We
situation.
ain't the feds, boss, but we
Yeah.
are Americans.
Yeah,
No?
but
You know,
You feel
I,
me?
but,
We
I,
American.
but I saved that
Come
for,
on.
for another time.
So-
Next podcast.
But yeah,
That's a
next
fact.
podcast.
Next podcast.
But
Facts.
yeah. So you know, they're killing us obviously. So hey, Black Lives Matter. Oh, then it was All Lives Matter. It was Blue Lives Matter. You know, they diverted from
It's
it.
the
But
trend.
now it's Stop Asian Hate.
Yeah.
But when we said Black Lives Matter, it was wait, no, All Lives Matter. But now we could focus on Asians, but we couldn't focus on black.
I
But
said that shit.
That's a
right
fact.
when they was killing the other people. But back to the Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter. When they said All Lives Matter, I had to take a pause, a long pause, and say that's bullshit.
It is bullshit.
Because just like you said, what's a hippo gonna do? What's a rhino gonna do? How you saying All Lives Matter when that's not the fact? If you want to replace that term with Human Lives Matter, then that's one thing. But then we do have people that are protecting the animals and environment. Those groups are there. I even came up with a group myself that I plan to implement in the future. I have a lot of different ideas. I come up with a lot of different shit.
Oh yeah.
But all lives matter, and it's like, is that a mosquito?
Where?
Could be.
I don't think a mosquito would be behaving like that. I don't think it's a mosquito. It's like just walking. He's chilling, whatever it is. I ain't gonna mess with him. If you think this is his time, I can't.
He said, "You think it's his time?"
I ain't gonna mess with him. I like insects. There's just certain people I don't like. I'd rather see them dead before the insect.
I heard that. Word.
But all lives matter. That's just a fact. I'd rather see certain humans dead before I kill an insect that is not harming me in any form or fashion.
I got you, bro.
That's
I
not
saw
a
the
joke.
translucent thorax. I was like, nah, this it's gonna come from somebody.
Yeah, it's a mosquito.
Yeah,
It's definitely a
yeah,
mosquito.
Yeah, I saw translucent
Yeah.
thorax. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, but all lives matter. And that's part of why I was like looking into becoming a vegan, because I'm like, man, like, you know, you got you know, the slave trade, and you know, we know about genocide, you know, the so-called Native Americans, you know, or Indians they want to call them, and the Jewish people through the damn, now I can't remember what they call it. The Holocaust, of course. I don't know why. See, that's why I stopped drinking. That's just I fuck on my memory, and that's a fact. That's real shit.
Right quick, bro. When you say all lives matter, you mean literally the way people move. All lives don't matter just because.
But
of
that's
how
a fact.
people move.
They made
But-
all
but
lives
that's-
matter just because we made Black Lives Matter, and that's as facts as that. And like, bro, if you go, like, if all lives matter is so true, you know, and it ain't gonna bother you.
But they
you
only
feel me?
meant that for human
But-
beings.
That don't make
All
sense.
lives.
Then why you gonna say all lives? That
But
means,
that's not what they meant.
That means that bear over here, that his life matter. You know what I'm saying? Everyone. It means everybody. Everything in this motherfucking earth life
They
matter.
only meant the A for human lives and then for B because they didn't want to deal with black people.
Nobody wants to deal with that. Why? Because
Exactly.
we don't want to talk about justice. So in
Exactly.
15 seconds, the government can't talk about justice for slavery because we understand how many millions of people lost their lives and how many hundreds of years that people were enslaved in the free labor. In order to actually have justice for slavery, that means you would have to pretty much eliminate like 30% of Caucasian people in all seriousness.
And we would
Because-
need our- we
and
would
then
need
we
our
would have
acres
to-
and mule.
You got to give us. We have to own now the government itself.
Yeah.
Because the government was okay with all of the killing and the murdering and the millions of people. Millions of lives equal to your fucking government.
Oh, yeah.
And then we need to talk about billions of dollars. It ain't no couple acres and a mule. We need John Deere. We need
Yeah,
the
yeah,
fucking
word. We need
Caterpillar
all that.
machine.
Yeah,
We need
facts,
all
facts.
that. Because if we're talking about justice, we need to dismantle the policing system and
Yeah,
put
yeah.
our people in place. We need our own communities. We need a portion of the earth,
Yeah,
period.
yeah.
Because white supremacy takes over. They want to rule the world.
Oh yeah.
But that's a whole nother topic. But that's about lives mattering. Is we live in the this world is certain people are in charge because of the need for control,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess is just greed because you don't
Yeah,
really
yeah,
need to
word.
control
No,
anywhere
not at all.
anyone. You don't need to make a system that's going to control everybody in Poughkeepsie, but you feel that they need to behave a certain
It
way.
all ends up about. It all comes up to money though.
Yeah.
But
All goes
let's
up
be
to money.
realistic though. To go to the whole need for control, bro. You see niggas and actual niggas, bro, and how they act and shit versus black men. Like we having this discussion. We all chilling. We people, bro. But there are niggas out there, bro, that will just throw shit up, bro. Do this, that, all this and all that, bro. So it's like, and they don't listen to the systems that
There's
are already set
rapists,
up, bro.
there's murderers,
Rapists, bro. So you
molesters,
know,
and
there's certain shit
Human
created
traffickers.
that we need to control some people because some people will go fucking buck wild if this regulation wasn't there,
but
bro.
what does that mean for slavery, which was perfectly legal?
But listen though, bro.
That's
I'm
part
not
of
saying,
it.
But I'm
What
not
does it
saying.
mean
But
for?
that's an extreme though, bro.
It's not an extreme.
ain't.
That was through the government. It was legal.
But I'm
I
saying,
That's
mean,
not
as
extreme.
our people may have seen it as extreme, but in their eyes, it wasn't. It was
That was their way of
unnecessary, bro.
life.
but
It was,
yeah,
but
bro.
that's
yeah.
their way of life. But I'm saying like make a law like yo, no speeding. Why can't you speed in a fucking city? Because you could crash, somebody could get hurt, this and that, bro. That's what I'm saying. Shit like that, bro.
Well, I
Don't
mean,
kill nobody. I'm not talking about put a nigga in chains and sell him his property, bro. I ain't saying that. I'm saying simple
Right.
shit that, bro, because, bro, you know this. People will go buck wild, bro, if they could, bro.
sure they
Stealing
would.
TVs and shit.
Right.
Niggas did that for fucking Floyd, bro. When all
Exactly.
hell broke loose,
And
bro.
that's when the stones and shit started popping up in Poughkeepsie. People was riding, and it was happening in different towns. And you would just randomly wake up the next day and see a pallet, like palletized bricks and stones on the corner. This shit is a thing. Like that shit was. I'm like, yeah, that shit blew my mind.